brothers and sisters. Welcome to klobblord504. I'm here with the notorious Darkhaven3, progenitor of fabulous Doom mods that he's known far and wide for. And for my theme song, did you know that, Elric? This is Elric. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell them how we know each other?
Well, hey, my name's Elric. I also go by Darkhaven3 and klobman504. I've known Julian since early high school.
Don't dox me, by the way. Try not to dox me.
No, that's all you get. We've known each other since early high school. I'll leave it there.
Man, so let's talk about that. I haven't thought about early high school in a long time. What brought us together?
If I remember correctly, it was your personality seemed somehow compatible with the fact that I didn't want to fucking talk to anybody normal, basically.
It's because we were a couple of freaks, yeah?
Pretty much. And I don't say that derogatorily. I mean, genuinely, I thought you were a pretty unique dude at the time. And it wasn't me who reached out to you first, if I recall.
Oh man, I found you very compelling. And yeah, and I think we really got to know each other when we were camping in the Broken Forest.
Oh man,
The
Broken Forest.
We would go on walks down the canal, like in the middle of the night under the moon, and that's where you remember us just hanging out under the moon by the water?
Yeah, and I remember Shemp Du Tongue.
Shemp Du Tongue, rest in peace. Yes.
Out in the Broken Forest, just in the middle of the night, where I think we were camping at that time. Julian comes back from being alone somewhere out in the woods to tell me this tall tale about a Vietnamese man who was in his 50s just out there chopping wood. Shemp Du Tongue.
Shemp Du Tongue, he had finally gotten a job, and he was on his way home to tell his wife. His wife had been very depressed, and he knew that money would be able to buy them both happiness. So he had been corrupted by the Western world. He had just started smoking cigarettes. Anyway, and he was on his way home at 7 a.m, and then he was hit by a freaking car and murdered. Do you remember that?
Jesus Christ. I don't remember that part of the story. Fuck.
Yeah, that's in the biography.
Oh, he's got a biography. Are you his ghostwriter?
I know, it's just a story I wrote about him when I was 18. Beneath the Sunless. Do you remember? It's Beneath the Sunless Sky, and it was narrated by Anthony Green.
Oh yeah, I do remember this actually. Sorry, it's been quite a while since I've opened that book, so to speak.
Understood. So let's see. Talk about who you are and like what you're into. I mentioned that you. I don't know if you remember this. I asked you for permission in 2022 to use Rhea as my theme song for Master Race Frankenstein Radio, and you
Yeah, I
assented.
recall.
And so a lot of people have heard your song, and I also posted what's it called? Translucent Eyes Event Horizon. I had posted it to my old channel, and there were a handful of people who were really into it. It was viewed or listened to rather some hundreds of times.
Yeah, I'm betting at least 100 of those are me, by the way.
Did you know about my other channel?
I did. The one that it was MIDI renders of Event Horizon, I believe.
Yeah. Okay, so you were following the crew of Good Juju?
I was for a little bit, at least.
I didn't even know. Earlier, I was talking about it. You acted like you didn't know.
Sorry. As the years goes on, something happens like 10, 15 years ago, and I'm really bad at just remembering shit, I guess. Say that as I just recalled Shemp Du Tongue, the most obscure deep lore.
And I think we all go through that. Are you on drugs?
No,
Why not?
at least not anymore. At least not anymore. I tried smoking weed again, but it just made me fucking paranoid and nah.
It does that. It does
Yeah.
that. I went through that earlier this year. Whenever, whenever my channel, I mean, it really quickly got like shadow banned, and it was like arrested, and there were a lot of seedy characters interacting with me that made me paranoid. And that's not necessarily the reason I deleted the channel. It was just the end of the channel. They had effectively killed it. But anyway, yeah, weed and paranoia. Well, is why'd you start smoking weed again, man?
Because it became legal up here in Ohio, and I just wanted to give it a try, give it another. I had struggled a lot with being like psychologically dependent on it for quite a few years after I got out of the military.
Yeah,
And it was that and cigarettes. I quit smoking cigarettes and weed at about the same time because it just, I don't know, man. Like, you can't make that stuff your god, you know?
yeah, and that's it demands to be your god. That's the only option for it. If it's going to be in your life, you need a bend to it. You're right about that, man. So how'd
I
you do
feel
that?
in,
People, you know how hard it is for people to quit smoking weed and cigarettes. And you say that you went and did these things about the same time. How did you pull that off?
I remember one day I was in the bedroom, I had smoked a bowl like just a few minutes prior, and I remember I was playing Black Ops 2 on PC, and all of a sudden I just felt like I was short of breath. And at that point, I had been smoking for 11 fucking years.
Yeah.
Um, it was at that point that I decided, okay, no, we can't do this anymore. And one day I just stopped, and it worked out, I guess. I don't know what else to say.
You know, I just quit smoking the other day.
I saw, I was laughing at it for a good 5 minutes. I looked on your channel and I saw, so I stopped smoking today. And the video right above it is, so I started smoking today.
Yeah, I started smoking again. Again after 10 years a couple of weeks ago, and then I stopped after a week, and I'm still rough. It still got me rough, man. I was and I started the reason I started doing it is because I was at karaoke, and I got along with this guy at the bar, and he said, "Hey, you want to come smoke with me?" And I said, "Yeah, all
Oh
right."
yeah, the social effect is
And I just
powerful.
didn't
Yeah.
I didn't think about it, but I'm so glad that I did. I mean, it would have been easy to go hang out with him and not smoke it, but for some reason I chose to smoke it. But it's so weird. You know, God works in mysterious ways. Uh, I met a few people outside of that bar the next couple times I was there that I needed to meet. I mean, it felt, you know, whenever you meet somebody and it feels like a fateful thing, and it's important that you know a person. I made a few acquaintances like that under the circumstance of smoking a cigarette. One of them, well, it was this dude's 66th birthday, and he's a general foreman at an electric company. And I'm talking to some 21-year-old kid, and he's talking shit, and he says, "And that's my boss." And I start chatting with the boss, and I ask him. He tells me what he does. He builds power lines, and I ask him, is there an opportunity with your company? And then, long story short, he instructed me on how to go to Baton Rouge and join the union. And I went and I joined the electric labor union. And so my unemployment my employment has not been steady, brother, for a long time. And suddenly I'm in a union, and I'm not going to get into the details about how it works, the union employing you, but it's pretty amazing. It's like an amazing opportunity that I got because I went and I smoked a cigarette. Just what a funny circumstance.
No kidding, man. Yeah, kind of same story here. Just weird circumstance of me meeting who would eventually become my supervisor uh, on a video game.
You met your supervisor in a video. In which video game?
It was Battlefield 4. I just decided to pick it up on Xbox One at the time. This was a couple of years ago now. But we met, we chatted, and I found out that he worked for a company out in Ohio. You know, I don't want to dox myself either, you know. But
Sure.
I found out he works with this company in Ohio during just normal chatting. And I asked him, you know, hey, just out of curiosity, because at the time I was thinking about moving out of state from South Carolina anyway at that point. And it turns out that, yeah, hey, are you good with like, you know, tech support kind of stuff? Yeah, sure, whatever. Uh, then that developed into a full interview, and then I started working for him for a couple of years, and I've moved out of his department since then.
That's amazing.
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to not reveal too much detail. Yeah, I kind of want to
You're
keep that private, but
you're doing fine.
yeah, I'm doing great.
It's this easy. Don't say what you don't want to say. Don't do it.
Fair enough.
If you would say something and you realize you don't want people to know, then don't say. But you're doing it. You're doing it. Hey, I'm doing it too. Hey, some people. There's a guy called Provo Fresh at Provo Fresh, and he does the wackiest streams once in a while. Really scary, actually. The way he does his streams, it kind of looks like there are people behind the cameras with guns making him stream. He seems like a hostage, honestly. He seems like a hostage made to live stream. But anyway, he was talking some weeks ago about how everybody is fake, how everyone is fake. What do you think about that? He
Mm,
said there are no real
I
people
actually,
on YouTube, but I'm like, I'm a real person. I'm sorry, I asked you a question and I start interrupting you.
no, you go ahead, man. Sounds like you got a lot to say.
No, no, no. I just supplemented that with my response to him.
Fair enough.
Eh,
Uh, I think, you know, I have a buddy who I also work with. He's in the department that I moved to. Um, he also is trying to break into just being YouTube famous, I suppose. And he was talking to me about how, yeah, I've got this friend that I used to like play a lot of games with, and I think he's pretty cool, but I can't associate with him anymore because of how people will think about me. And you know, I don't want to like lose my connections. Like, brother, that is the most. I hesitate to say sinister, but there's something deeply unwell about that kind of environment, I think. There are real people on YouTube, but I think that is like a systemic problem at the highest levels if that's the case.
well, I mean, that reminds me of what led to my channel getting popular. Do you know the circumstances behind Master Race Frankenstein Radio as it launched last year?
Not quite. Go on.
I made it because Sam had started dating Stick Sex and Hammer 666. You know about that?
Oh, yes, I know about him.
And he said that he'd give me an interview. And so, like, this is before I met him, but he said, anyway, he said that he would talk to me and let me interview him. And so I created my channel specifically to interview him. And he was supposed to be my first guest. Um, and then, do you know the story of what preceded all that?
No, but I can somewhat infer that he didn't show.
Uh, no, no, he didn't.
What a surprise.
Well, man, if you don't know that story, you got to check it out, dude. Like, you need to watch. I have a 2.5 hour long episode of Master Race Frankenstein Radio featuring Six X and Hammer 666 in coverage, yeah, media, inside media. Yeah, I don't know if I'm trying not to. It's not like it's a problem if I talk about it, but no. So he like had assaulted Samantha, and she had sent me media, and then I had leaked it, right? And that's how everybody knew about. Yeah, he's a liar. It was an amazing thing. The reason that I had leaked it is because he went as soon as he got out of jail and just started lying about it. And he was throwing Samantha under the bus, and it like pissed me off that he would do that. And so I leaked the media. And so, but that's just an example of just people at the top being fake. I mean, I don't know what you meant by at the top, but I'm thinking this is a pretty big YouTuber. He lied all the way to the very end, convicted, and the whole time there was no conviction. There's been really fun coverage of it. It's like better than Jerry Springer and Maury. You should check it out.
Will do, man. Because it's a shame you say that because I wasn't even aware of any of this about him before we just talked about it.
Oh yeah, dude. I met him. Like they came down here, and we went to lunch. He treated us to lunch. Um, I'll tell you. I'll tell you like details later because the whole interaction is weird. But we went and hung out in New Orleans, and I went with him and Sam to their hotel, and it went well. And like I liked the guy. It's like he's a weirdo, but we hit
Aren't
it
we
off,
all?
And he invited me to come on to his podcast, and it was just overall a great thing. And dude, he had a bottle of Jim Beam or Jack Daniels, something like that, and a bottle of wine. And we were looking for Marie Laveau's grave because he wanted to put wine at it, but we got lost. He wound up drinking a bottle of whiskey and a bottle of wine in a 2 hour span, and he fell asleep sitting across from me with his mouth wide open. He fell asleep. He fell asleep like this,
Poor
and it
bastard.
was crazy. It was crazy. But then the next evening, he got really insecure and he threw his phone. He threw Samantha's phone at her because he thought she was cheating on him, and then he went to jail. So that's the background of that. And when he came out of jail, he told everybody it's frivolous charges, and he was totally throwing Sam under the bus. And Sam, I had just reconnected with Sam. She was texting me while it was happening, and she had sent me videos. You have to hear the way he was talking to her. It's crazy. You don't have to hear it. I mean, it's just a thing that happened. But no, the funny thing about it is, though, the only reason he was on my radar last autumn, last winter, is because of all that had just happened. Otherwise, I hadn't tuned into him in many months. I'm sorry, in years. But in December, he had posted um, some videos showing off his books, his occult books. And I was like, that's a great idea. And so I made my own. And the whole reason that my channel went viral was because of a video I made inspired by Tarl. Isn't that beautiful?
No kidding. That is beautiful.
The Satanist launches the Christian into the eye of thousands of people. Amazing.
And for the record, when you say Samantha, are you talking about Austin Samantha? Or
Yes.
yeah, that's who I thought. That's
Damn.
man, that's wild.
She's all doxxed and stuff now, but I'm not going to perpetuate that. Over on, I won't
No,
say what.
no,
But anyway,
no. I know who you're
yeah,
talking about. That's
this whole thing has been fucking her life up. I mean, like she's already got a difficult enough life. Now she's got this freaking guy. I mean, I think she's overcoming it though. It's been rough for her. I mean, hasn't it been rough for all of us? But what weird circumstances? The whole thing.
yeah. I would say, you know, small world. I guess is the best thing I can say about that. Really.
Yeah, no kidding. But
You earlier you asked me to introduce myself, and I also have some. I got some interesting thoughts that I think might tie back to people being fake at the top.
okay,
Um, just to be very brief, I'm a programmer, I'm a level design enthusiast, and I'm a musician. And I'm also just kind of a giant dickhead sometimes. So I'll probably curse a lot. I don't think you care.
uh, be yourself. Here's a question: are you a faggot?
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding? I'm literally married to a dude. What do you mean?
Okay, so I wanted to talk to you about being a faggot, and it's not just that because the word faggot. Do you know what the root is of that word?
I know the popular, I guess you would call it, I say it's a myth, but I don't know that it's actually a myth, that it refers to a bundle of twigs.
Yes. It actually has, it's cognate, meaning it has the same root. It's cognate with the word fascist.
Oh yes, bundle of sticks, stronger together when bound. I get it.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
calling me a fascist? Because yes,
Only technically, not in the colloquial sense, but yeah. So I mean, isn't that interesting? So a person who
that
calls
is.
themselves a fascist is calling themselves a faggot. It's the same word. And so I have a lot of fun with that now because I used to be I used to be a fascist, a faggot, and so now because I know those are very proud people, and so it's important that they know that they are faggots. So
I
if you
agree.
meet a fascist, tell him he is a faggot, not because you say so, but because he says so.
I love it.
This is true. This is true. Um, funny thing about the fascist, the fasces, the bundle of sticks with the axe in it.
Yeah.
They say that it represents, strength and unity around the magistrate. But if the magistrate is an axe and the people are the twigs, what does that say about the relationship between the magistrate and the people?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. All these different ideas about creating classless societies, fascism. You know, I don't know if this is 100% correct, so stop me when I'm wrong. But I understand fascism to basically, at its core, be an offshoot of socialism, and I consider I considered this pretty hard for a long time. Uh, when you have these kinds of attempts to create classless societies in a species that is naturally social and naturally gravitates towards hierarchy, this obviously is doomed to failure for exactly the reason that you were alluding to. Power
Yeah,
concentrates at the top, and that's just the kind of relationship that creates. You can't really have a classless society like that.
I found the way that it's actually possible. I found the way.
Illuminate me.
So Jesus Christ, different members in our body all together create an individual. Even so, Jesus, the members in his body, are the people who sacrifice themselves for others. So Jesus is a pattern, or rather, the Holy Ghost is a pattern. And when you follow this pattern, the body of people who live for others instead of for themselves, they are Jesus Christ. And all people being his body, the only way to worship him is to serve other people, especially the weakest members of the body. Whoever is at the bottom, whoever suffers and struggles the most, uplift them. And in glorifying them, all of the body will be glorified together. And this is the only glory of Jesus Christ.
Disclaimer as somebody who's not terribly religious, but we fundamentally agree. And this is actually the exact question I was thinking about a lot before I came on this live stream in particular. So,
Really?
To begin with, this is going to be kind of a roller coaster. So I'm just putting my thoughts out there just as they come, and I'm trying to logic chain it together as we go.
Okay.
So I was thinking a lot about, well, what do I actually want to talk about? Like some kind of like what are some maybe some systemic issues that I think that I have some solutions to. And I came to the conclusion that all of these like grand scale political problems, like taxes are too high, or the gays are infesting the schools, or these not necessarily highbrow but sort of abstract hypotheticals that are just kind of out there in American politics. The divisive
Yes.
nature of American politics in itself, really. They all have a common thread, and I think I have a solution. The common thread is that there's no there's no aspect of authority greater than the government. What I mean to say is that I consider myself fairly right wing. I'm pretty libertarian. I think the government should be as small as possible and all that. Um, the intersection where you and I agree, I think, is that without God or some sort of abstract religion above the government to kind of take the top rung of authority away from government, uh, humans being sort of gravitating towards structures of authority, they substitute the government for God. And I think that's not the way we should do things. I think being a non religious person, I think the solution to a lot of problems, at least in American politics, is for the people to be more religious. Because then people start thinking, well, I don't really like the government. I don't give a shit about the government because God is above the government. I don't care what men on earth say. You know what I mean? Not to
Amen.
not to imply lawlessness per se, but you see where I'm trying to string this together.
Well, Jesus Christ is the fulfillment of the law. So there we go.
That's
But I do
ultimately
think
what I mean.
so. I have two thoughts about that. The first one being that you are religious. It's just that whenever we hear the word religion, when people use the word religion, they're using colloquium. It doesn't mean what we think it means. Religion is not whenever you know that there's something up there. I don't know where it's at, but he's up there and he cares about me for some reason. And so I have to go to the building every week and go, oh, all the traditions and the rituals, these aren't religion. Calendar observances, these aren't religion. You know, I realized we can find out the truth about everything by looking at etymology. Pardon me, Mom, I need to plug my phone in. Etymology,
The study of words and their source roots. Oh, I see. Okay. Well,
not that it is subjective, but that is.
I would say that's a fair assessment. It's a complex subject. Like human beings, because of the way we perceive the world, the fact that we perceive the world at all means that truth cannot be perceived objectively because that's an oxymoron in itself. I get what you're saying. That's fair.
And if you are given to addiction, then you do not have a consistent access to truth. And this is something I said this to Tarl in the hotel, and he said, "Wow, You must be some sort of genius. but, but dude, it's so obvious. What if you have a person who knows all things? He knows all things, but he cannot distinguish between a truth and a lie. And if he knows all of this stuff, but he can't distinguish truth from false, people don't know what intelligence is. People don't understand how to access truth. They think reading books and acquiring information makes you smart and that you learn truth thereby. But if you can't separate the truth from the lie, then you got nothing. You may as well be freaking Helen Keller.
I agree. No, I see what you're putting down.
Are you picking it up?
Maybe. I don't know. I got to bend over and it gets weird. I,
La, la, la. So, anyway, back to etymology. Religion is a Latin word. Re means again. Okay? I think everybody knows that one. It comes from re and ligo. Ligo, Ligo. It's a farming implement. It's a hoe to till the soil with. Therefore, what would you say the word religion literally means?
to farm or to excise again.
To continuously till the soil. To
I see what.
farm. It's indeed to farm, but to continuously till the soil. So what does that mean? Does it mean that we got to go and be farmers?
No,
No.
it's obviously an abstraction. It's you're trying to tell us that religion
Okay.
is a constant exercise. You need to continually work to understand the world around you.
Now, thank you for that. People don't understand that. There are two groups who do not get abstractions: Christians and atheists. It's dude, I get the same response from both of them when I tell them that the scriptures. Atheist says it's all lies, and I say, and not necessarily. It's just coded in allegory. It even says so itself if you read it. And they say, no, it's just fake. They can't handle it. And then obviously the Christian's the same. I said the other day that the snake in the garden was a symbol, and a friend of mine, I thought we were friends. It's been kind of rocky, to be honest with you, because we think different things about Jesus. This is a person who says that he loves Jesus, and he treats me very badly because we don't agree. I said the snake is a symbol, and he said, "No, Julian, it's not a symbol. Uh, you don't believe in the Bible." He said, "You talk about it, but you don't believe in it." When all I do is praise Jesus and thank him for saving me. I don't believe in it. Anyway, you have the same pattern of rejection of abstractions across the spectrum when it comes to people who talk about religion. And back to people being fake. I think a lot of the people who are influencers who influence the public from any institution or independently, they're fake.
Oh,
We
hold up
live
just
in
a
a
sec. I'm sorry.
okay,
I'm sorry. Give me 1 minute. You might lose me. I will be right back if you do.
not a problem. Yeah, look. The truth can only be revealed in your heart. Okay? Let no man lead you. God will reveal himself in you directly.
Okay. Am I back?
You're back.
Excellent.
Welcome back to klobblord504. We're here with Elric, aka Darkhaven3, aka Dima, aka Suede Slip for my brother. Welcome back. How are you doing?
Once again, I am quite well. I'm hanging out outside here at a I'm hanging out here at a playground in the dark, like a normal person does.
That's very nostalgic.
Yeah, exactly. I felt drawn here, like talking about one of my best friends from being a teenager, Julian. I felt compelled to come out here. It felt like the right atmosphere.
It feels so good talking to you, Elric, man. I love you, my friend, and I'm just happy to still have you in my life. It's not the same for everybody. It's not, and not everybody wants to talk to me. Things are
Yeah,
different
well,
now.
I think this discussion has been illuminating so far, just like this light on my phone.
You know,
God damn.
um, I had started talking to a guy who's a mutual friend of a guy that we hung out with in high school. A guy called Josh was the guy in high school. And he's a friend of Austin, so I presume that you
Oh,
know who I'm talking about. Just by
oh,
saying that, I
me
presume
and
you know.
Josh. I've known Josh since elementary.
So I started talking to this guy that he's friends with, and we had become friends. And he was very ugly to me on Facebook, and he talked about how I'm a Nazi and all this, and I'm a piece of shit. And I said, I'm not a Nazi anymore. I was forthcoming about, I was this man, and then I was saved by Jesus Christ, and He changed my heart, and I'm different, and He would not accept it. He would not accept me saying that I've been wrong and that I've been changed. He wouldn't. You know what this is called? This is called killing Jesus. I was resurrected in Jesus Christ. He don't want me to be He denies my resurrection. But that's a sad thing. But him and the people who hang out with him that used to be my friends, they don't want anything to do with me. We even
You
started,
know,
I started talking to Austin a little bit again, but he don't want to do with me, and that's fine. It's just interesting how I can go be who I've been and be changed. And I don't know, what they need is Jesus Christ. That's exactly it. They need religion. They need religion.
I don't think you're necessarily wrong either, man. Like, I think, I find it deeply immoral when someone has found themselves in evil. We'll say, and they make a concerted effort to change. I mean, what do you think is better for a person to be? Do you think it's better for a person to be born good, or are they more righteous if they are made in the image of evil and they struggle every day? No, I don't want to be that.
Amen.
I'm
I
not
mean,
trying
and,
to
and
I'm not
and
trying
that's
to
how we all
oversell it.
start. Well, no, I agree with you entirely, and I mean that's how we all start. Is that we are all evil. No, we all start off not being able to distinguish between truth and lies. That's how we
True.
start, and so we go between being good friends and bad friends, good lovers and bad lovers, because we don't know the difference. Sacrificing yourself for someone else, and what is evil but being interested in yourself primarily.
I see.
But let me tell you this about religion. It means to perpetually till the soil. In the context of Scripture, can you think of what soil means? It's in there in First Genesis.
Well, disclaimer,
What did God do
it's
with
been
the
a
soil?
he
He made
continually
something
turns
with it.
it.
He
Okay.
made
No,
something out of the soil.
I see what you mean now. Okay. So,
What did he make?
what you're saying really is that given that scripture can be the source of creation for man on earth, I guess. I, I'm
He
struggling
made
to put this into words.
he made Adam. He made man out of the dirt. And Jesus said that people were evil and they wouldn't receive him because their hearts are hard. And so to be religious means to continually break up the hardness of people's hearts. You got to break up. We are the soil. So a religious person is one who breaks up the hardness of someone's heart. Now, if somebody has a hard heart, they're really selfish and mean, I think the only way is to forgive them and to be patient with them and to love them anyway. And that is precisely what Jesus prescribes. He said, "You will know my disciples by this. They love one another." And so if a person goes to church every week and they're involved in and they sing and they do whatever, but if they're not patient, if they're not practicing patience, forgiveness, and grace in the face of hatred, of nihilistic, malicious hatred, then they're not religious and they're liars and they're hypocrites. That's what I mean by they need Jesus. Everybody needs to accept that no one else has been more evil than you've been. We have been different, but evil nonetheless. And as much as we hope somebody would forgive us, patience with us for one another. And that's what it's all about, my friend. If we can have that attitude and then uplift the needy, well, this is heaven. This is New Jerusalem. Jerusalem literally means the city of peace. One another for their transgressions and uplifting those.
I think, I think it's pretty obvious that we agree on the fundamentals. Now, Jerusalem is interesting as a modern case study, but that's not really the point of what you're saying. I understand. Like, you're separated from what's actually going on there right now. Like, no,
Oh, you mean geographically?
I mean the fact that not talking about Palestine and Israel or none of that, but specifically uh, the incidents of hate crimes between interfaith groups of people. I think that's just interesting to read about that kind of, as an outside observer. But again, it's not really what you were talking about, I know.
It's all fake. It's all look. Think of all these interfaith conflicts based on lies. Every one of them is. I mean, because tell me about selflessly sacrificing your life for the lives of other people and turning away from your evil. What's the word? Inclivity. Just
Proclivities.
turning from it. None of them do that. Proclivity. A lot of them talk about doing that, but I don't see it. They make it about history. They make it about geography. They make it about ritualism, but they don't make it about serving one another. Instead, we look to the state. Back to you being libertarian. Imagine this. Imagine, and this is admittedly a fantasy, but we are in a fantasy crisis, frankly, and we need this fantasy. Imagine that we all wake up in the morning and we're concerned with our neighbors, and we leave the house, and instead of seeing problems we see solutions, and we stop worrying about politics, accepting that they're not going to help us, they never have, but we can help one another. If we are all organized such that we're able to uplift one another, well, that nobody is lacking, what would politicians do? What would the government be for? That is why Jesus said, "Give to Caesar what is Caesar's and give to God what is God's." Because let the pageant continue. Politics is pageantry. Let it happen. We're not going to stop it. But as we live through the pageant, instead of hoping that the pageant turns out to be real and it's going to help us, we can just help one another.
This is pretty much exactly what I'm talking about when I say that religion is sort of a prerequisite of a libertarian society functioning the way I would expect it should. Like early America, it only
Yeah.
really works
Well,
if people have that attitude.
I've been trying to learn Old English. Like it's not easy. A big reason it's not easy is because any kind of book or website I can find that teaches it, nobody uses runes anymore. You have to transliterate yourself. But anyway, I learned the Old English word for democracy. So dim means people, ocracy is judgment. So it's the judgment of the people. In Old English, it's folk doom. The word doom in Old English means judgment. Folk doom. Thought that was cool.
That is fascinating. Huh.
Yes. Oh man, I've been leaning on. Ooh, this will be fun to talk to you about. I've been using Chat GPT a lot. It's such a great tool. You just need to know that it's not intelligent. It's not even
Right.
artificially intelligent, dude. This name, artificial intelligence, it peeves me off. It really peeves me off. Why would you call something by what it's not? You have everybody thinking in negative terms. It doesn't make sense. But
I
they
have a
they
lot of
say the
thoughts
negative
about
term. Sorry,
I have
sorry, guys.
a lot of thoughts about the name artificial intelligence. And I'm not the greatest programmer, but even as a somewhat like moderately skilled programmer, it's easy to spot even from a distance that this is not what we named it. It's essentially like you collected a very large database full of likely responses, and you do your best to judge the probability that, okay, they probably want this response, but I don't actually understand what it means. Like, there's
Yeah,
no,
it's a language model.
yes, there's no, uh, how do I explain it? There's no cognitive reasoning going on there.
If
It's just
we called it what it is, a large language model, then everybody would understand what it is. But instead, we call it fake intelligence, and everybody thinks it's equal to intelligence.
yeah, like I mean, it's pretty obvious when you start getting things like AI hallucinating. These things aren't intelligent. They're just giving you basically somebody decided to sit down and program something that would tell you what you wanted to hear. And sometimes it's accurate, sometimes it's not, but it's not intelligence.
Amen. Um, but, but therefore, because of what it is. Oh, by the way, here's a good way of explaining it to somebody. It's the same as whenever you start typing something into Google and Google goes to complete your sentence.
Yeah, and we all
It's the same
remember,
thing.
well, maybe we don't, but showing my age a little bit, uh, we all remember, in quotes, when Google autocomplete would finish the sentence, why won't, with, why won't my parakeet eat my diarrhea? Why would
No,
anyone search for that? That's a real
I
thing.
don't. I don't believe you.
That's a real glitch that happened. Like autocomplete on Google has glitches all the time, and
You
it's
know
the
what I
same
think about all
fucking
the
thing.
time? I don't. The reason I said I don't believe you is because you say I'm not. I'm not kidding about how Elric would. They'd ask him in high school, "What do you want to be when you graduate high school?" And he said he wanted to be an interior decorator because and what you meant was that you wanted to
Yes,
come in
it's
men's
true.
asses.
That is actually what I meant.
That's one of the funniest things I've ever heard. Oh, dude, I have a
What?
joke. I have a joke. Um, I've never told it to anybody before. I can do this.
Well, there's no
You
pressure.
know,
You only have 300 watchers.
Mexicans. You know, they don't get the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing. Did you know that?
Oh,
They don't understand why anyone's. They don't understand why anyone makes a big deal out of Jeffrey Epstein. But I finally figured out why. It's because virtually everyone in Mexico is a pedophile. I mean, tell me, point out one Mexican who don't love a Chihuahua. And the joke is that in Spanish, pedo means dog.
no, I got it.
Oh, good. Okay, I didn't know that you speak Spanish.
I'm only minorly linguistically disabled, as I have probably proven over the past 50 minutes.
Um, oh, hey, I mean, that being said, let's talk about being autistic.
Yeah? What you got?
Um, I found out why you're autistic.
Why?
Autism comes from overexposure to prenatal testosterone in utero. Whenever a woman endures high levels of stress while she's pregnant, she overproduces testosterone, and this causes the hypermasculinization of an infant's brain. So that's where autism comes from. It comes from women being stressed out or traumatized while they're pregnant.
I did not know that. That's interesting. I
Yeah,
know that
dude,
has
I
some
found that
implications
out.
about my mother, too.
Yeah, well, I mean, think about just the world that we've lived in for the past, I don't know, several decades. I mean, stress is unavoidable, and I feel like the culture isn't sensitive to pregnant women. They just got to deal with it. Um, I found this out 10 years ago when I came out of being trans, and at first I assumed that it was a biological mishap and that something went wrong with me while my mom was pregnant with me, because that's what I was taught is that I was born wrong, right?
Of
So
course.
I got this book thinking that it would. Long story short, it didn't teach me anything about transgenderism, but it taught me that about autism. And yeah, and there's people still talk about autism like we don't know what causes it. People don't know anything, but the truth is all right there. They just got to go look for it. This is the consequence of wanting information to be taught to you instead of you going and learning on your own accord. You never know when you're being lied to.
Huh. That's an interesting roundabout.
Really?
Yeah, we're coming back ultimately to the point that people, some people are incapable of distinguishing truth and lies, and
Yes.
that has some implications.
Well, that's most people.
Yeah, that's what
That's
I'm
most
getting at.
people.
That's scary.
Let's see. Let's look at
Brian,
the chat real quick. Brian Lichtenberg. Julian, your old videos are gone. I greatly enjoyed your reading about Russia. Hey, Brian. I have another channel at Master Race Frankenstein Radio. And almost all those videos from the old channel are backed up on Telegram in a group at Stone the Builders Rejected. Thank you, though, brother. I'm glad you've enjoyed it. I have another channel that I've started just for reading books. It's at Folk Doom 3, FOLKDOOM number 3.
and Peyton Stiggermain says, "Let me front an eighth, big bro."
Oh, dude, my voice is my voice is so rough. Oh, wait, let me tell you. Let me give you some context. I mean, I don't know who these people are, but this is klobblord504. This is the channel I made back when we were in high school, and it's got like 700 subscribers. But most of them come from when I uploaded Cash Money Records videos, albums. So it's just a bunch of New Orleanians who who are just listening to gangster rap. Those are my 700 subscribers.
I don't see the problem.
No problem.
Your commentary and reading with cat interruptions were always the best, Brian says, by the way.
Glad you like that, Brian. I'm happy to be doing it again. The old channel got arrested, and things changed, and here we are. The
Yeah,
only reason that
sorry.
they won.
They arrested the channel. We don't know what the charges are yet, but it's probably going to be something on the order of money laundering.
No kidding,
Hey,
dude.
those
Look,
channels, I'm not watching them, man.
Elric. So let me tell you why we're on klobblord504 tonight. 2 days ago, I guess. No, Monday. I was trying to clear my phone. I had no more storage, and there was this video of me wearing a special hat. Look at my hat. Okay. And I was playing guitar, and then I would go and play my daughter's keyboard. And it was like 3 minutes of shitty music, no talking. And I named the title of this video was Real Authentic Nazi Sounds. But I had it written in German with a swastika in front of it in Unicode. It got taken down, and my appeal was denied because they said they had reviewed it carefully and found that it violates their hate speech restriction. So they took it down because of hate speech. There was no speaking in it.
It's been carefully reviewed, we assure you.
Yeah, dude, how about that?
That's fucking
No surprise.
ridiculous. I miss YouTube from 2007 or 8 or so.
Dude, I wish I was in it back then. We were making videos. I guess I was just too afraid to post anything.
Man, I still to this day, sometimes I lay awake at night wondering what the fuck ever happened to that one take of that home invasion styled horror movie we made with Gavin and Austin.
Dude,
There was one
you don't know what
incredible
happened to it?
there was one incredible take of it, and then we tried it again and it just didn't work. At least
Oh,
in
well, I
my
think we were
recollection.
burnt out on. I think we were burnt out on recording, man. We recorded that for 12 hours. You remember how
Yeah,
it
that's
went,
kind of
right? You remember how we lost it,
how.
dude? I had stayed up all night, and I spent 5 consecutive hours editing 12 minutes of footage. It was edited down to 12 minutes. It took 5 hours to do, and when I was done, I put my laptop. I was doing this on a recliner. I put my laptop on the arm of the recliner, and I put my external hard drive next to the recliner, next to that arm. And in the morning, Samus, the boxer,
Uh-huh.
ran and jumped on the recliner and knocked my laptop onto the external hard drive.
Oh god damn it. So that was probably like a head crash if I remember right.
I
I'm
still have
remembering it
it.
a little bit.
I still have the hard drive. I've got these wacky dreams of recovering it one day. Ooh, I found the screenplay though that I had typed up.
You wrote a screen.
That's pretty
Wait,
cool.
hold on. Do would I remember this?
You should, dude. I mean, I wrote a screenplay, and that's how we filmed it. We filmed it all based off of the screenplay I wrote.
Oh man, Jesus, that was
You
almost
know, it'd be
20 years ago.
fun.
Forgive me.
You know, it'd be so. If only we could be together again, like with Austin and his brother and Steven, and to just reenact it in real time, just for one another. That would be fun. That was such a fun thing to make.
No shit.
And Brian, you're right. I should bring it to a PC repair store. I haven't even tried that.
Yeah, if, depending on if it was like a head crash or something, if the actual hard drive platters are still okay, even now they could recover it. But the thing
Yeah, well, that's
is,
all.
yeah, that's all hypotheticals and
I was
in
going
the
to say that's
sky.
all
No
Greek to
offense.
me.
Basically, what I'm saying is, oopie in my tum tum, belly go baba.
Now you're speaking my language. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, give it to a data recovery service though. They might be able to do something with it.
Good idea.
But that's for then
Um,
and this. And I'm Elric.
Elric, I texted this to you earlier. You didn't respond, so I'll ask you now. Will you send me nanonucleonic cyborg summoning?
Yes, actually, matter of fact, that's on YouTube as well in its
Really?
original MIDI instrumentation and all.
Yes, dude. I think of it all over again. Okay, so I guess you're the only person here who would know. Elric is my favorite. After all these years, you're my favorite. It's amazing. It's not. I'm not kidding. I always think about nanonucleonic cyborg summoning. Have you made any? When's the last time?
Yes, matter of fact, getting back to the very beginning of the stream when you said that I made Doom mods, one of those was a conversion of the like unique stuff about Doom 64 to the original DOS version of the game, and I wrote some tracks for that. And then some other guy came back later and recorded what I did on real instruments, and it's pretty good.
That's badass. Wow, how do we find that?
Uh, Literally, the mod is called Doom 64 for Doom 2, and the guy who covered it is called DAR. I did a I my favorite song I've ever written to date is one called Dream Dream Eternal, and it's part of those covers.
Dude, I've never heard of that. What the heck?
Well, now you have,
I guess
stupid.
I pretty much only know the songs you did up to 2011.
Yeah, I haven't wrote much MIDI music since that point, but there's some new stuff by me you can check out.
Right on, dude. That's pretty dope.
That hat's great, by the way.
Oh, do you know? Can you guess who used to wear it?
Uh, I'm gonna admit the camera quality is a little fuzzy, so it's hard for me to see what the insignia is. But who?
There is no insignia. Yeah, there's no insignia. It was worn by a German patriot sometime in the middle of last century.
Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah, one of those things. I got some suspenders also. So that's stupid. Oh, check this out. This is a pin that I got when I was a Nazi. A friend of mine made it. Tell me if you could make out what it is.
Do I see a Confederate flag on the right? And then
Yeah,
I'm guessing that's the is that the Iron Cross flag on the left? I'm a little fuzzy on the German.
that's the flag of Iran.
Oh, I see.
Um,
What a
whenever
fascinating
this
inter.
pin was passed around, when this pin was passed around, they would say "No more brother wars."
I see. Okay.
That was made by Rusty the rocket scientist.
Huh.
I'm laughing because it sounds like I just made that up, but he's Rusty the rocket scientist.
I legitimately thought you were pulling my fucking leg for a minute.
I mean, he might have been pulling my leg because this is just a guy I met in a Nazi organization, but he called himself Rusty. He said he's a rocket scientist. That's all I know.
Hey, fair enough, man.
Federal agent, a lot of it, I realized coming out of it that it's all honeypots. All the Nazi stuff is all honeypots.
Oh, of course they are. Are you kidding? Those kinds of organizations, feds really want to be all over any kind of story that could develop out of those circles.
Oh yeah, it's just controlling the narrative, but also controlling the men. I mean, you're meeting white men who think like you, and together you could do whatever. And what winds up happening is they drink beer and they listen to podcasts, and they burn out on beer and podcasts. And whenever they really do something good, it means going and walking in the woods or something like that, or boxing. Never really anything that matters. And then the beer always gets them. I mean, no shame about being an alcoholic among Nazis, even though they're the we're white men, the noble Aryan. For some
Yeah.
of them, that's a con. They have a guy, they don't tolerate. There's a guy called Gay Thomas.
Go
I
on.
think I'm the only one who I think I'm the only one who calls him that. But when he got kicked out of the Manor Bund, I says to him, to the people, I says, "Why did he get kicked out?" And he said, "For some gay stuff." And so I call him Gay Thomas. But there's this group called the Manor Bund, and they have a song that you might have heard of that goes, "Oh, by God, we'll have our home again. By God, we'll have our home." You ever heard of that?
I'm. Hmm. It's
Anyway,
stirring a memory, but yeah.
anyway,
Anyway,
this gay guy wrote the song. He re-lyriced some other song, and oh, they kicked him out for being doing a gay thing. There was another guy, man. Another guy. He was 19. They kicked him out for drinking a beer. Um, they're not very patient or forgiving. Whenever their brothers are down and need encouragement and need to be uplifted, they turn their backs on them. That's what they did to me. That's what they did to Billy Bob. They do that. They pretend like it's all about the white man. We're going to come together and be strong. Fascism, strength and unity. But if you falter and they find out, they're not interested in helping you. They just cut you off. Oh my gosh! Look at that. The fasces, the axe, the sticks.
gee, dang.
Dang.
What a surprise that hypocrisy can be found in those circles, right?
Something else amazing that I realized after coming out of that was that just you know how the left and the right, two wings of one bird, two sides of one coin, all that. The left, the liberal lunatics that I hated and that I laughed at, their a lot of their convictions are insane, but they say the truth about many things. I mean, coming out of these leftist media outlets, they give true narratives that a person on the right doesn't listen to because the well is poisoned by. So you've got somebody who's speaking the truth, like say about Donald Trump, for example. I mean, they've always been right about Donald Trump, and that's just starting to come out. But the right doesn't want to hear it because they say this insane shit about killing babies and all that, and anybody should be able to do any kind of drugs. And so, because of how crazy they are, they don't consider any of their perspectives. And here's the problem: is whenever we justify ignoring one another. I mean, like we can't disagree about things while still having truth. It's like people think you either got the whole truth or you got nothing.
It's interesting you bring this up. I for a pretty long time actually, I was kind of in that insular right wing space. And it's true that even to this day, I still consider myself like a serious libertarian. call it fantasy if you like, but even before now, I was uh, I was really in like basically a right wing media bubble. Um, and I mean, what you're saying is basically true. We may not agree about Trump or whatever, but it's still like when CNN runs a story about, Michigan man or whatever, Kilmaro Brega Garcia, however they described him, that is true. Just because I don't like that they chose to portray him using a certain series of words, it doesn't mean it's not correct.
Yeah. So tell me this. Where do we disagree about Trump? Because I haven't even told you what I think of the guy, except that the left is right about him. But where do you think we disagree?
I don't think he's a fascist. I genuinely don't believe him to be a Nazi. I just think that's kind of, maybe I've only heard that because of the leftist lunacy. But
Okay.
when news outlets like CNN, say things like, and he used the language of Adolf Hitler, it's like, okay, can we maybe like take a step back and reevaluate what we're airing here?
I think he is a fascist. In this sense that people, first of all, politics is fake. All right. I say, according to me, from what I can tell, it's all literally pageantry, and it's like witnessing a theatrical play. But we are believing in it. We're like children watching Donald Trump on WWF in the '90s. Where we're doing the same
And
thing as
nobody
adults.
nobody exemplifies the correct observation that politics is pageantry more than Donald Trump.
I know, right? But so people who love Donald Trump are wholly given to the lie of politics. I mean, and it could be, you could say the same thing about the people on the right. They're all fascists. What is a fascist? By clinging around to a political figure, you're cutting yourself off from the people who need you to serve them directly instead of just going to touch a box. Um, you're cut off from the truth. You're cut off from the body. People like to think of themselves as individual bodies. Nah, you're individual members in one body. All of us together. We need one another. We don't need no man to pass some laws to help us. You can't wait for bureaucracy to make anything happen. What use is it? So they're faggots in that he is a fascist, and his leader, his followers are fascists, in that they are all cut off from the truth and bound around the very acts that has removed them from the source, from one another rather. Pardon me for my inarticulation.
No, no, I see what you're saying. It's just I feel like media has made the word fascist rather loaded. So when we talk about it in this context, you see what I'm getting at? Like
It's
it's just a little
colloquium now.
difficult to,
People don't know what it
yeah.
means. They think it means Adolf Hitler. Well, dude, okay. Let's talk about how people at the top are fake. All right. Adolf Hitler, his dad was born Eloise Schickelgruber.
Yeah.
He changed his name to Hitler because, well, I don't know why, but his stepdad, his mom married a Hitler. Changed his name from Schickelgruber to Hitler. Um, Schickelgruber appears, from what I could tell, means shekel grubber. Adolf Hitler, his dad, was a shekel grubber by lineage. This is what he was. He's a shekel grubber. Changes his name to Hitler. Did you know about
I
that?
did not. That sheds some interesting context on the years to follow from that point.
They tested a hairbrush. They being the lab coats. I don't know who they are exactly,
But they did
but
it.
they tested a hairbrush. They did it. They did it. They tested a hairbrush that belonged to Hitler's bride, Eva Braun. You ever you ever see Eva Braun and the pictures? What a stunning Aryan woman she is.
Yeah.
She's ugly. She's an ugly woman.
Yeah.
Anyway, it turns out that she was Jewish. She was a Jewish woman. You know how them the people who carry on the play that the public don't know they're a part of,
Yeah.
they communicate in code. Are you aware of this, in symbolism and in code?
No, or at least I'm aware of the hypothetical in in the context of conspiracy theories, but not in any real sense. No.
Well, I'll give you one example. The word COVID-19, when spelled out, it's an anagram of ionic end event. Ionic referring to logic. Ion is literally, it's the Hebrew word for dove, which is a symbol of the Holy Ghost, which is the mind. COVID-19 is an anagram of ionic end event, and anagrams are have been employed throughout history to communicate secrets. Anyway, there are all kinds of codes like that. Um, One of them, oh, check this out. One of them is in Gothic, the word magi appears as Mary. The uh, the Sanhedrin, the body of men who govern affairs among Jews, there's a one leader in the Sanhedrin. Do you know anything about the Sanhedrin
No.
or the Jews? Okay. The Jews have a prince. Do you know what the prince of the Sanhedrin is
What?
called? The Nazi.
What? Really?
Look it up. Listen, it's a so maybe you've heard that Jews do not observe written Torah. They're concerned with oral Torah. Oral meaning phonetic truth. Whenever you have written language, one word can get chopped up. But if you look up NASI, Nazi, that is the prince of the Sanhedrin. And yeah, no, the written word is all witchcraft. You take and then you can spell it any number of ways and say that now it's three words. This is actually spoken to in the New Testament. Are you familiar with Jesus as the Word? They say that he is the Word made flesh.
I'm familiar with that like lexical device, but not. I never really thought much about what it meant until we had this discussion in particular.
Well, check this out. When they arrested the Word, okay, look, the Word was deceived and arrested, and they parted his garments. Okay, let's say that the Word is phonetic, parted its garments. You're taking a phonetic word and you're multiplying it into multiple written words. And they parted his garments. See, for saying stuff like this, they call me a Gnostic and they call me all kind of names. But it's right there. It's right there. I don't know.
What an interesting
I'm
story.
just
I'm gonna have
thinking.
to actually go through and read the Old Testament.
Well, read the New Testament first, because the New Testament is the important one. The Old
Fair
Testament
enough.
is all coded. Let me explain to you why. Julian, what makes it more important? Okay, so and Paul was a Pharisee, right? Paul was trained in the ways of the Jews and he knows the Hebrew language and all that. He explains in 2 Corinthians 3 that the veil of Moses is over the Old Testament. It says when Moses came down from Sinai, and Exodus, it says this, he put a veil over his face so that Israel could not witness the glory of the Lord. Paul explains in Corinthians 3, even to this day, the veil of Moses is over the Old Testament. What that means is that the truth is in it, but the veil is done in Jesus Christ. So what's going on is the alphabet of the modern Hebrew language is not the original Hebrew alphabet. It's actually the Aramaic alphabet. Aramaic, that's the tongue of their captors. And I'll give you a quick example of the difference. There's a letter. Well, let me ask you a question first. What does this word mean to you? None.
A woman who has given herself to the faith and, does away with all vices of the world. Something to that effect, right? Like yeah,
And do any other words come to mind? None.
nothing.
Nun is the name of an ancient Hebrew glyph. It's a drawing of a seed with a root, and it means sun. It means the continuation, the sun. Now, remember about how religion is having patience and forgiveness and grace to break up the hardness of someone's heart so that it would receive the seed, the sun, the nun. Now, there's another letter, which is mem, which it looks like this. That's where we get our letter M from. And it means blood and mortality. Now, in Aramaic, the meaning is changed of every one of the letters. Okay? So you have the same words spelled the same way because they give the letters the same name, but they've changed the meaning. Now, nun in Aramaic means fish instead of sun. And now, mem means water instead of blood. If Jesus is the one who transcends death and mortality, what is what does it mean that he walks on water? How about when you find out that water is a symbol of blood? You
I
think of when
see.
he says, I'll make you fishers of men. Well, he said, I'll make you fishers of men. And toward the end of the story, after he goes up to heaven, he appears to his disciples while they're out fishing on a lake, but they don't know it's him, right? And he said, cast your net over there. And they listened and they pulled up many fish. Were they taking fish out of the water, or were they raising up sons to God out of their mortality?
Interesting
That is how
question.
it's coded. Paul says that it is coded, that it has a veil. That whenever I'm Lord with all, you don't know what you're talking about. You need a big brother. I've been a Christian for 20 years. You are but a baby in Christ. And so I was like, dude, for started translating it myself. And Genesis, sure, da da da. But he explains that the scripture all testifies of him. I translated the first couple pages of Genesis myself, and it's all about Jesus. It's all about self-sacrifice. It's not about the physical creation of the world. It's about the death and resurrection of man.
Huh. Okay. Interesting. I really wasn't aware of
Everything's
this. I wasn't aware at all.
well, no one is.
Yeah.
No one is. And people like they'll point at me and they'll say, "You think you know?" But it's like anybody can ask the same questions I asked. It's just Hebrew. I didn't create Hebrew. They said that I have interpretations, and to that I say, "Why don't you find out for yourself?" That's been a theme throughout my channel. Is that everything I say? Why don't you find out for yourself if you're really interested in it? Because who's to say I'm right? I mean, I talk about how everyone else is a liar. So why not me be a liar? How about you find out for yourself if you're really as invested in it as you seem to be whenever you criticize me? But I just want to help people think, man. What's wrong with the world is that people don't think anymore. They're preoccupied with everything except for truth and understanding.
I think I'm going to be honest. Given that I'm pretty tired, it has been about an hour and a half. Uh, this could be a good place for us to put a pin in this, and I want to return. I want to return to your show again, and you know, discuss what I've learned at that time. But I think I have some reading to do.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, even more powerful than a book is patience and forgiveness and being graceful. And now you are pretty graceful. You know, you've managed to. I mean, you used to be a firecracker, but I've noticed how you. I don't know if it's the military or what, but I love you, my brother. Thank you for coming. I look forward to having you on again.
Of course, man. Next time. You want to do next weekend or?
Yeah. I mean, as often as you come on, I'll have you. I love this.
All right. Yeah, next weekend we'll do Saturday if possible. You know, we'll see. We'll play it by ear, but I'll set aside
Yeah,
time for you.
and if you know any people who have anything to say, tell them that you know where they have an audience, and I'll
All right.
platform anybody.
All right.
And look, I'll be uploading this conversation to my main channel on Monday when I can post again.
Okay. Fair enough. Well,
All right, my brother. Well, have a good night, my friend.
take it easy.
Bye bye. I think he's gone. That's Elric. Godspeed, Elric. All but one of my guests in season two has been a friend, a personal friend of mine who's been in my life for a long time. And that's cool. I like that. The one who hasn't been is Mr. Tree Leader Jay. Feels like I've known him for 10 years, though. Shout out to you, Jay. I love you, my brother. Ooh, I have to send you that playlist. Told you I was gonna. I saw that you sent me something, and I ain't even look at it yet. Hey, how's it going? It's the end of the stream. Thanks for coming. Uh, hey, you want to chat? Whoever you are, the one person watching. Let's see. It says hi. Peyton Stiggerman says, "Let me front an eighth, big bro." Shiloh says, "What the XXX?" Oh, skull emojis. Let's see. I read these by Brian. Brian said Jan Lamprecht of History Reviewed is tops. JanLamprecht of History Reviewed. Thank you for that, Brian. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for joining. Let me know what you think of these conversations. It's just important to me to talk. Why? Why, Julian? Why do people need to hear you talk? It's not about hearing me talk. It's about hearing me be vulnerable and giving my testimony. I want to encourage all of you to be honest about the evil sons and of bitches that you've been. But don't have any shame or fear about coming out as being evil. Just overcome that and be better. Be a be selfless and loving. Why not? What's stopping you? What is it? Your pride? I mean, do you like being on fire with pride and greed and anger? Like, why? Turn away from it. Turn away. Turn away from the things that you're addicted to. Read the New Testament. Read it by yourself. Don't ask anybody to guide you, because one will come to lead you into the whole truth about it. You don't even have to ask for it. I guess technically you do. That's just thinking. When you start thinking, when you make a decision inside of yourself that you want to know something, you start thinking, that's you, it's prayer. And now you're calling on the Holy Ghost, the Comforter, the Spirit of truth, which will come and lead you into all truth. And you will understand the New Testament. There's a cat at the door. Let me tell you this. Be like that guy. You see? Be like him. Use ChatGPT as a tool, not as a source. It is good for organizing information. It is good for learning new things. Except you need to verify things. If you're going to go talk to other people about stuff that you learn on ChatGPT, you got to go verify things. I'm guilty of not verifying everything. That's why I say, find out for yourself. I'm just a dude, man. You know, my walk's been different than yours, but we both walk in the same place. This isn't connected to anything, by the way. Ain't that funny? A little prop. Shout out to Austin, Joshua, James, Lauren, Gavin, Stephen, my brothers and sisters. I've been an evil man. I haven't known right from wrong for most of my life. I tried and I tried and I tried. And I finally figured it out in 2023 in the spring. And the circumstances in my life are very difficult, but they don't hurt. You will have tribulations in the world, but fear not, for Christ has overcome the world. In him, you will overcome the world. Only in him. Love you, brothers and sisters. Have a good night.